you go for a rehearsal and they tell you what they want you to say on the night. So we sort of go through the script, if you like, and then there's a few hours to kill. And I remember asking, well, can I go outside? I'll go for a stroll, you know, and they were very reluctant. They thought, well, you know, what happens if your dad drives by? I said, well, the chances. He said, I know. He said, but anyway, just go out for a stroll, but just be very wary, you know, of what's around you. And I said, okay, fine, because it really is, you know, I mean, if he ever got a drift of it, if anybody got a drift of it, that's the end of the show, apparently. I didn't know that, but it is a complete surprise. So that was that, and then you could feel it all building up quite nicely. It sort of bubbles up, doesn't it? People are arriving, and the audience, and then we're all side stage, and I was quite lucky because I was very early on, and I remember standing backstage, and this stagehand said to me, he said, you know, we have to push people on sometimes, you know, they're so nervous. I said, oh, thanks very much. So I came on anyway, and I got my bit out of the way, which was something we used to do at the dinner table. You know, he'd say, you know, don't put your elbows on the table, Nicholas said, you know. I said, well, why is that then, Dad? He said, because if they slip off, your face will go in your food. So they made me do that. And really, I had the best seat in the house. I was sitting, I think, pretty well next to him. And then I watched the whole show coming towards me. And I can remember all the people coming on, and, oh gosh, people from the Grand Order of Water Rats, all these friends there, and Freddie Starr came on at the end, and sort of ladies who worked in the films with him, Lana Morris and people like that, and it was a great night. Well, I suppose they try and get guests from all facets, don't they? You know, walking to school with him, army, the Water Rats, you know, full of people he'd worked with and knew very well, family, agents. You know, it's just in the grand scheme of things, it's just a cross section of his life, really. That's what they try and do, and they try and bring it all together on the night, which they did very well. He didn't recognise a couple of the people who came on. You know, he was scratching his head afterwards. He said, I don't know who they were. I said, I know, I know. I knew you were struggling. And then he had to sort of pretend that he knew, and you know. But I suppose, you know, if you're going back, it was somebody who apparently walked to school with him every day, so that's going back a long time. And another one was in the army, and I just think he just couldn't recollect them. But you wouldn't have known that watching it on TV. That's the important thing. I don't think he was overly bothered about the second one. I think, you know, he felt the first one was a fantastic tribute. I'm not to say he didn't you know, he didn't enjoy it in that it was a very nice gesture to be asked to do it, you know, to have it done again. But I think the first one was the big one in 1957-58. But of course, so much water had gone under the bridge, so there was scope for a second one, wasn't there? First one was more army days and very early acting career. Looking back, I don't even recognise anybody, really, just a few. David Nixon, the magician, he was quite prominent in his early days. And of course, all those people are gone. I think only Billy Marsh survived till the second one. And then it was more fellow artists then, wasn't it? You know, people he'd worked with over the years. Well, I think what he did, he was very polished, Eamonn. I mean, he'd been doing the show for a long time, and you know, he talks to you very, you know, and he relaxes you just by talking to you. He's got an Irish voice, and he just sort of relaxed everybody. Said, no, don't worry, you know, just come on and just relax, be yourself and all that. And you know, it just seemed a very, very nice guy, and very professional at his job. I thought it was great, yes. I wouldn't have wanted to. Not that I'd have been last on. That's the star of the show. But if I had been last on, I'd have been. There was no monitor. You'd have just been behind a curtain. And I just felt it was just so good that I was on early. I was just thinking, gosh, thank goodness I'm on early. I can watch the whole show from the best seat in the house. That was the way I saw it, and it was really enjoyable when I was out there. There's a party, sort of food and drinks, and I remember Billy Marsh, his agent, stood up and said some very nice things, gave him a lot of tribute really in front of everybody, and you know, it really, you know, he gets quite emotional, my dad, and I could see he was quite moved by that. So, oh, he enjoyed the evening. I just remember he always says these off the cuff things like, "Oh, don't know why they're bothered with," you know. But I mean, he deep down, it was a nice tribute for him, and he enjoyed it.